if you didn't know the TV footage was a video from January the 6th, you would actually think it was a normal tourist visit.
Former Georgia Republican Congressman Andrew Clyde, who called the insurrectionists tourists, even though there was actual photographic evidence of him barricading the House chamber doors. Not only did Clyde vote against awarding Congressional Medals of Honor to the Capitol Police, but Congressman Eric Swalwell tweeted today, get this, that Capitol Police Officer Michael Fanone, who was attacked by the insurrectionists, ran into Clyde today. He introduced himself as someone who fought to defend the Capitol and put out his hand to Congressman Clyde, who refused to shake it. Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger said he called Fanone and confirmed this story. The Washington Post reports that Fanone came to the Hill today, the day after 21 House Republicans voted against the gold medal resolution in an effort to meet them and tell his story. He happened upon Clyde in an elevator. Now, we tried to get a comment from Congressman Clyde, but so far no response. But I am joined now by California Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell. He's a 2021 impeachment manager and is a member of the House Committees on Intelligence and Homeland Security. Congressman, when my producers told me this story, I had to go and look at your Twitter feed to verify it, even though I trust my producers inherently. I needed to read it for myself. Then I read Adam Kinzinger's retweet. Unbloody believable. I'm just going to let you comment. How can that be possible that this officer, who's been on TV a lot, 9 whole minutes of him talking on CNN are available, so everybody knows who he is? Your comments on Clyde. I don't get it.
Joy, to honor Donald Trump, you now have to dishonor the police. That's the only explanation I have for it. Officer Fanone and Officer Harry Dunn stopped by my office earlier today, just unannounced. They popped in, chatted with them for a while. They told me how much it hurt to watch the vote yesterday, where 21 Republicans voted against giving these hero officers the gold medals. And they said they wanted to embark on going to those offices to meet the members of Congress, tell them about their experience, and hopefully change their minds. And so Fanone called me about 20 minutes later after he left my office, and he was just enraged. He said, is this really how it works around here? The other part of this, Joy, I only had a couple hundred characters in the tweet. He said that Congressman Clyde, actually, after he refused to shake his hand, pulled out his cell phone and started recording Fanone like he was some sort of criminal that he had to document the interaction. That's just where these guys are right now. I saw Clyde on the floor, scared for his life, as all of us were, and I saw the brave officers who put their lives in front of ours and everyone else in that building, and this is just no way to treat them.
Unbelievable. Yeah, let me ask you this. Let's just go back through this again. On the day of the insurrection, did Congressman Clyde go out and greet the protesters and high-five them and take selfies with them because they were just tourists? Did he go and greet them?
No, I was actually grateful for what he did. He went and helped the Capitol Police barricade the main door into the House floor, which was heroic of him because he saw with his own eyes. He was up close and personal. But then what happens? Time passes. Donald Trump says it was just a nice day at the Capitol, and that's the new big lie that you have to accept. And by the way, you know who also did not go and confront the protesters, despite telling us just days before that she was going to bring her big gun to the Capitol? Lauren Boebert. She had that video 2 days before the insurrection that she was going to bring her gun onto the floor. No, she ran for her life, and you know who defended her? People like Harry Dunn and Mike Fanone. That's why they are worthy of our gratitude and worthy of those gold medals that they are all voting
absolutely.
against.
I mean, absolutely. This is the job we actually want police to do, to defend and protect people's lives. This is what we want from police. Let me play for you Paul Gosar, another person who I don't know if you want to tell me if did Paul Gosar go out and greet the insurrectionists? Did you see? Okay.
No.
Here's Gosar talking about one of the people who was killed during the insurrection.
Why hasn't that officer that executed Ashley Babbitt been named when police officers around the country are routinely identified after a shooting?
So it seems to me that now what Republicans are doing is trying to not just ignore these officers, refuse to honor them, but now also vilifying them. When you saw the police officers who had their guns trained on the doors, why did they have their guns trained on the doors of, for instance, the Speaker's lobby? From your point of view.
Well, and I was receiving the Capitol Police alerts right before that of what they did know, which was that pipe bombs were found live pipe bombs were found, that there were armed people coming into the Capitol, that intelligence had shown on websites that people intended to bring their firearms to the Capitol that day, and the mob had broken through 5 different perimeters. The last line was where Andrew Clyde stood, and just 100 feet on the other end of where Andrew Clyde stood, where Miss Babbitt was killed, was the other line where that officer had to resort to the deadly use of force to protect the dozens of members who were still on the floor. That officer is a hero. He saved lives. He's not an executioner, as Republicans are describing him as.
And let me ask you this. If Ashley Babbitt, who was a military trained, trained by the United States tax dollars to be a military, she obviously knew how to use a gun. She knew how to do combat. If she had gotten through that door, the speaker's door, and she and all of that crowd that were screaming on the other side of the door, if they'd gotten through, what would have been on the other side of that door?
They would have killed my colleagues. And I saw that mob. I saw the colleagues who were left behind, who were the least mobile, and we were trying to figure out ways to get them out because it would require a stairway exit. And so you would have had the least able to defend themselves overrun by that mob, Joy. Ashley Babbitt was the tip of the spear of that mob. As Officer Fanone described, when he interacted with the mob, they tried to strip him of his gun. If that mob had gotten around the final police officers who were there, they would have done the same thing, and you would have seen dead members of Congress. So God bless that officer who saved us.
My last question, if the name of that officer were to be released, what do you think might happen to that officer, given the fact that people on the right who support Donald Trump are threatening to kill people who are just in the business of counting votes, people who work in elections? Would it endanger that officer's life to release his name?
It would absolutely put a target on his back. And by the way, that officer's been cleared, and that shooting has been deemed as a lawful, unfortunate shooting. And Joy, so now we have a Republican Party. Today, by the way, over double digits voted against recognizing Juneteenth. So it's a pro-slavery, anti-police party that is rolling with the cop killers right now. That's where we are here in Washington, D.C.
Congressman, we spent a lot of time talking about police and issues of police abuse. The Capitol police officers who defended the Capitol are the ideal of the way that we wish police would behave all over the country and the way a lot of police actually do. They were brave. They did their job. They defended you. They defended your staff. They defended every member of Congress. God bless them. They deserve those medals. And if you voted against them, then you know what? Shame on you.